This video focuses on Minnesota's wage theft law's employee notice. The employee notice is provided by the employer to the employee when they start work. The employee notice ensures Minnesota employees receive basic information about their rate of pay, how often they will be paid, what the company's paid time off policies are, paycheck deductions, and other items. The employee notice must provide employee's employment status and whether an employee is exempt from minimum wage, overtime, and other state wage and hour laws, and on what basis the employer is relying to claim the exemption. For more information regarding who can be considered exempt or other exceptions that may apply to minimum wage and overtime, reference Minnesota Statutes 177 and Minnesota Rules, Chapter 5200. Additionally, the number of days in the employee's pay period, as well as regularly scheduled pay days, must be included on the employee notice, as well as the date an employee will receive their first payment of wages earned. The employee notice must also include employee's rate or rates of pay and the basis thereof, including whether the employee is paid by the hour, shift, daily, weekly, by salary, by the piece, by commission, or by some other method, and the specific application of any additional rates, and allowances, if any, that may be claimed for permitted meals and lodging. For further information regarding meal and lodging allowances, reference Minnesota Rules, Chapter 5200. Additional requirements include any provisions of paid vacation, sick time, or other paid time off, also referred to as PTO, how the paid time off will accrue, and the terms for its use. A list of deductions that may be made from the employee's pay must be on the notice, in addition to the employer's legal name, as well as its operating name if different, the physical address of the employer's main office or its principal place of business, and a mailing address if different, as well as the employer's telephone number. All employers must provide the notice to employees in English. The notice must include a statement in multiple languages informing employees that they may request to have the notice provided to them in another language. An example employee notice is posted on the Department of Labor and Industry's wage theft website. In it, employers will find a statement translated into 13 languages that they may cut, copy, and paste into their own company's employee notice, allowing employees to request their notice in another language. The employer must provide the notice in another language if requested by the employee. Employers are required to keep a copy of the notice signed by each employee. Employers are also required to provide employees in writing of any changes to the information in the notice before the date the changes take effect. The following are some commonly asked questions regarding the new notice requirements. Question: does the employer meet the notice requirement if the employee signs the employee handbook, collective bargaining agreement, or other document that includes the information required for the written notice, or does the notice have to be on a separate form? Answer: the written notice does not need to be provided by the employer in a specific format or on a specific form. However, the written notice does need to include all of the information required under the law that is specific to each employee. DLI's example employee notice form could be used by employers to meet the requirements of the new notice law. Question: does the complete written notice need to be given again anytime there is a change to specific information included in the notice? Answer: if a written notice has been provided to an employee, then only the changes to the information in the written notice would need to be provided to the employee in writing prior to the changes taking effect. Employers are not required to have employees sign changes to the information in the written notice, but it would be a good practice to do so. These Q&A examples, along with other information pertaining to the new wage theft legislation, can be found at the department's webpage. While visiting the department's website, you can sign up for our Wage and Hour Bulletin to receive regular updates. If you wish to speak with a department representative regarding this or any other wage and hour related issues, you can either email us at dli.laborstandards@state.mn.us, or you can call us at 651-284-5075.